Macherie is the original meme unit in War of the Visions. At level 99, I tried to make her work, I did everything I could, and honestly, she's just very lackluster. Most people should build her because her TMR is great, but that's it. And now that she's getting her EX job, let's take a look at the stats, abilities, and whatnot, and see if there is a way to make her a relevant character. So first of all, at level 99, she is extremely slow at 58 agility. She's got lackluster magic, decent HP for a caster, and then bad attack, considering that she has some physical attacks in 2 of her jobs. When you get her to 115, you already solve the biggest issue she has. She gets 8 more points of agility, which is really good. At 66, she's faster than Yuna, who is a pretty fast mage, so her slow speed is now fixed. She gets quite a bit more HP, but 2800 is still not top tier. And then her magic is higher, but at 378, she is really low for a 115 unit. Her attack goes up quite a bit, but you don't really want her to go in melee and start hitting people, so it's not that important. And then if you get her to 120, a little bit more HP, of course, but her magic gets another significant upgrade. So if you want to use her as a support, I think you can take her to 115 and you'll be fine, because it solves her speed issues, makes her a bit more tanky, and you're good to go. But if you want to use her as an attacker, you probably have to get her all the way to 120, because at 378 her magic is lacking, at 449 it's still not the highest, but it can actually deal some serious damage. Now, if we're comparing her stats to some other mages that were released, compared to Yuna, we have a bit more HP, a bit more agility, a bit more luck as well, so in terms of accuracy, she would do fine. But we have a bit less magic, so the attacks are going to be weaker, and of course the heals are going to be much weaker, because the cleric class does not heal very much. Will she survive as well as Yuna? Well, the counter cure that Macherie has is much weaker than the Aeon Bond from Yuna, but in exchange, there is a lot of ways to increase the defense and spirit from Macherie. So I would say overall, Macherie is actually much more tanky than Yuna is, and her tankiness does not depend on RNG as much. Then compared to Luelle, well, Luelle has some more HP, a lot more magic, a lot more luck, but is a bit slower. Overall, I would say Luelle wins the stat competition. She really has top tier mage stats, while Macherie has like mid-tier stats for a mage. Now, there are a bunch of ways to use her. Her best asset is still her ability to fight status effects. She can both prevent and heal them, so that's a really good combination. She is okay as a single target attacker if you get her to 120. Nothing top tier, but she can deal some serious damage. And then for a support character, she is incredibly tanky. She has the counter cure, she has the really high defense and spirit, and then if she's a black mage, you can set her up so she uses drain frequently and then heals back. So it's hard to take her off the battlefield. And then if you're using the cleric subjob, she can be a really good light and dark resistance buffer. So if you're building a team specifically against dark or light, she can have a good role in them. Now let's look at a build that I call the Steel Maiden build, since it's her title. I was thinking of using her as a black mage with the healing mace, so she gets access to an AoE healing ability. And I think no matter the build, if you're using Macherie, you want the healing mace. Then Galmia Code for a bit more magic, and I was thinking about Black Rose Helena's TMR for more agility, more magic, and then a barrier on top of her already pretty bulky build. I would use the Bahamut Esper for just all the stats it has, and then the Carbuncle Vision card because it's going to give her a bit more spirit and defense on top of what she already has. So with that, she walks into a fight with 29 defense, 43 spirit before any buff. If she uses her 120 ability, well, her spirit is now way past the 50 mark, which is really impressive. She has 5,400 HP, which is alright, 90 agility, and 1,100 magic. Not top tier, but enough to do something, right? She does a decent job with that build. She is going to be a good support for magic characters because her ability that negates status effects also increases magic and healing power, so they're going to heal more and do a bit more damage. So I would say that's probably the only build that I can think of that makes sense. I could try to build her all the way for damage, but a single target damage dealer does not really have its place in War of the Visions right now. Most of the top tier damage dealers have really large AoEs and still one-shot people, so she will never compare to those as a single target attacker. So, what's my verdict? Well, she's top tier to fight status effects, she is fairly bulky, has acceptable buffs, but nothing out of this world. Overall, I think she's below average for an EX unit. We cannot compare her to Yuna, we cannot compare her to Luelle. Honestly, she's not even as good as Silma, who's an MR. So, is she worth the Blossoms? I don't think so. I think she graduates from the meme unit category. She is better, and she has scenarios where she will be the best choice, but those scenarios are very rare and few, so I don't think she's worth the Blossoms unless you really like her design and want to make her work. But if you do, now she has the stats to back it up, and she can actually be a carry for your team. So that's it. Hopefully you guys learned a thing or two and enjoyed it. If you did, please like and subscribe, and then as always, thank you so much for watching and have a great rest of your day.